So what do we do to make sure that that doesn't get lost?
All right, so we are back with our first true episode, and if you tuned in to our intro episode, then you'll notice that we decided to just keep everything set up and keep rolling and see where we could take the F1 episode. So, just to start things off, F1 racing. Where to start? It is a European race circuit that essentially takes cars that are going 200 plus miles an hour, making them do sharp turns, work the brake, work the gas, shift down, shift up, all that good stuff. But you're not looking at a track that's an oval or an elongated circle or whatever you want to call it. You're looking at is if you threw a rubber band on the ground, and however it landed is what the circuit looks like. And it's going through a city, and oftentimes these circuits and the stadiums that they build for the circuits are immaculate, like
Crazy.
Just gorgeous.
Absolutely
Like the vacation of a lifetime if you were to be able to ever go see something like that. And I feel like F1 racing is also one of the things that you can easily find an appreciation for without knowing much about it.
Yep.
But we're going to try to get you guys a good understanding of how everything is set. So for starters, we'll just work you through the teams. So we have, I believe, how many teams? 18 teams?
There's 20 teams.
20 teams.
I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. 10 teams, 20 drivers.
10 teams, 20 drivers. Okay.
I can run through.
Wow, I was thinking drivers when I said 18
drivers.
teams.
Yeah.
So, run through that because you're...
Sure. So we got Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Haas, Aston Martin. Dude, I'm gonna forget some. Alpine, Toro Rosso, and Alfa Romeo. That's 10 teams. So 10 teams. There's only one American-based team. That's Haas. They happen to be the worst team in F1. But one thing I did want to touch on, it's funny that you said the way they designed the tracks is just throw a rubber band on the ground.
Yeah.
I saw a video. Some dude took one of those workout
This is where my reference came from.
Yeah. Oh, you saw the video too?
Yes.
He saw a workout band, and it was like how they designed F1 circuits, and he just like threw it down, and I swear to God, it literally looked like Monaco or like one of them. It's so funny.
One long strip, couple crazy turns. But I don't know, it's also one of those, actually, one quick thing that you guys would definitely be interested in is all of you, I'm sure, have Netflix. All of you, I'm sure, throw something on before you go to bed to help you fall asleep. Yep. There is a series, which is actually how I would assume most people in the United States got into F1,
100%.
where it follows the drivers, the teams, the managers, the presidents, everyone throughout the F1 season and gives you this insight, almost like a Hard Knock series for the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys this past year.
Yep.
And, I mean, my girlfriend, who couldn't give a shit less about Formula One racing, was tuned into that series with me every night, watching 2 episodes, asking to watch a third. Yep. It's very, very exhilarating. But
yeah, so
there's mixed views on it too, from the drivers.
100%.
But
yeah, one thing I did want to touch on. That's how for sure I got into F1. I saw Drive to Survive.
That's
and
the title.
Only really notion I had of F1 before I saw Drive to Survive, the name of that Netflix documentary, was literally hearing about Formula One. I had no idea what Formula One was. Video games, things like that. But it is really, really interesting to watch. They definitely play up some drama or write their own storyline. But yeah,
like with any other reality TV.
Well, that's the thing, right? If they just kind of made it cut and dry exactly what it was, then it wouldn't be the smash hit that it is today. And it really brought so many more people to the sport that I think everyone involved with F1 has someone to thank in Netflix for sure for doing that.
For sure.
But
unless you're Max Verstappen, then you're number one. You don't have to say thank you to anybody.
Right. Yeah, no, I was going to say that was the thing I was going to touch on was there's a driver, if you're in F1, you've definitely heard of him, Max Verstappen, 2021 world champion, by the way. And yeah, there's drivers at him and other drivers have said that they don't really like interacting with Netflix or doing the one-on-one confessionals that they do because they seem to drum up some sort of storyline that really isn't there. And it's understandable for drivers not to like that because that's just another added pressure. They're already top drivers in the world driving for these multi-million-dollar corporations. If they crash the car, it costs the company hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's so much pressure going on. That's just another added thing that they don't want to deal with. But it's brought so many new people to the sport. I can only imagine how much revenue it's brought to the sport.
A lot.
Yeah, so there's definitely the good and bad with Drive to Survive, but if you're looking for a good base into getting into F1, besides our podcast, you can check out Drive to Survive, because that definitely will give you, like he said, your girlfriend was watching it with you. You know what I mean? There's something to be had in that.
Listen, guys, are you sick of watching The Bachelor? You sick of watching The Bachelorette? Get her into F1. I'm telling you.
F1. Drive to Survive. It's the little drama in there that appeases to people who might not like something like racing. There's a little drama spurted in there that will definitely get those people on board as well. So if you're sick of watching The Bachelor, get your girlfriend to watch Drive to Survive, I guess.
Trust me. But other than that, for just a general idea of the races and everything, we'll obviously right now we're going to pop up on the screen a couple outlines of what some different tracks look like. You're mostly going to be getting a long strip with a bunch of different turns. There's different styles to the turns, different names. Like you have your hairpin turns, where I'm sure all you know what a bobby pin looks like. That little curl at the end is literally the turn they have to make. So they have to brake from almost 200 miles an hour to roughly probably 45,
I was gonna say,
60
yeah.
at the tops. Like
Yeah.
if you're doing it perfectly, and maintain speed while doing this crazy turn. A lot of accidents happen there, especially if there's a hairpin right out the gates or a hairpin that happens close to the finish line and people are trying to pass and make
100%.
some crazy moves.
100%.
But
yeah, that's the like Formula One is definitely the most fascinating thing I've ever watched because of things like that. They'll be going close to 200 or over 200 down a straight, slam on the brakes, experiencing how many G-forces, you know what I mean, and then slowing down to 40 to 60 miles an hour, taking that hairpin, and then automatically jumping up to 150 miles an hour.
Nuts.
It's the craziest thing in the world. That's why Formula One is what it is. It's the fastest drivers, or it's the fastest cars, the best drivers, the most money, and they just do everything to the absolute max when it comes to driving.
Yeah, for sure. And off topic from that, but on topic with Formula One, this year is probably one of the best years to get into the sport because years prior, you had your teams like Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren, we'll say. And they were the best. They had the most money to spend, the best engineers, the best drivers, the best everything. So every single year, for the most part, you were looking at those guys for pole positions 1, 2, 3, and 4 for almost every race. And this year, they're trying to really cut down and figure out how to make it as equal of a playing field for everybody because the drivers in these lower level teams oftentimes, and when their contracts are up, go and sign with the big level team.
Yep.
And the level of driving that they may improve at, I guess you would say, or like their level may increase ever so slightly in the year or two that they're at AlphaTauri before they go to Red Bull, we'll say. Mm-hmm. They're still that top level driver when they're at AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
So if we can make it a little bit more fair for everybody,
Right.
it would be a lot more fun to watch. But in years,
yeah.
like in years prior, you had the best of the rest, they called it. So if you finished in fifth or
if you finished in fourth,
the first non-pole position, you were
yeah.
basically the best of the rest, and that was a big deal to these guys. Like when you watch, you'll see a team finish in seventh, and they're celebrating like they just won. They won it all.
Yeah, and that's a hard concept for people to understand, especially like, I don't know, maybe it's an American thing or not, but like, I feel like a lot of people have the mentality like, okay, if you didn't win this race, then you definitely lost. And there's a lot of sports that pertains to. But I feel like in F1, if a team like Alfa Romeo finishes 6th or 7th, that's equal to getting a pole, like finishing on pole or finishing second. You know what I mean? For them, given the circumstances, given maybe they qualified 18th, you know what I mean? And then he worked his way up to 7th or 8th. Like, that's actually crazy. And then they have the opportunity to score points for their team, things like that. So there's definitely not a learning curve, but it was shocking to me and shocking to everybody else that I've showed F1 that, like, that's such a thing where, like, I finished 6th, like, let's go. Like, that's never a thing or something that I haven't experienced in any other sport, really, besides F1.
Yeah, and that also can break down to the way that the points are scored because at the end of each race, pole positions and fastest lap and a few other things earn you points, and throughout the race season, the teams that acquire the most points are pretty much kind of competing with just each other for those last few races to finish out strong and be the team with the most points to take home the championship at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And if you did watch F1 this past year, or even if you were on social media, I think it would be pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, seriously.
The Max Verstappen and Lewis Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
The final lap, or final 2 laps, we'll even say, of that race, because of the safety that got called,
Yep.
or safety lap, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So let's set the scene first. So usually, historically, the world champion of that season is decided, I don't know, 5 to 7 races before the end of the year, because someone, usually Lewis, would pull ahead mathematically so no one else could score enough points before the end of the year wins, right? So last year, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, Lewis drives for Mercedes, Max drives for Red Bull. They were at a dead tie in points going into the last race. It's relatively unheard of. To run through how the point system works really quick for anybody who's new, if you come in first, you get 25 points, and then it goes down respectively. So second is 18, and then it goes down to 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then 1 if you finish 10th. And then if you don't finish 10th, you get no points. And then there's also an extra point awarded if you get the fastest lap and you also finish in the top 10 positions.
After a slight technical difficulty, we are back. Camera cut out, and we had to pause the recording. But
We're back.
I believe we left off on talking about the point system and the different strategies that different teams and
100%.
the managers that control these teams and give the directions to the driver via an earpiece may do.
Yep.
But we're going to just jump right now into the new cars that are coming out.
Yes.
Because that's very cool even to look at, even if you have no idea what we're talking about.
100%.
But each year, each team comes out with a slightly new, more modified, better version of last year's car. Oftentimes, slight differences. This year, we have a couple cars that definitely are looking very different.
Yeah, so one big thing about this year is there was a regulation change. I think we talked about with the spending regulations. So now everybody has a basically like just a spending cap on what they can
budget.
Right, what they can spend to develop their cars to ensure maybe a little bit more even playing field. So Mercedes isn't winning and lapping the Haas 74 times before the race is done. So yes, these cars look a little bit different. The whole design of the car has been changed a little bit. They say it's going to make things more aerodynamic, which will lead to more exciting races, because then one thing I heard specifically is that cars can follow each other more close through turns, since the aerodynamics or the less friction with the air behind. I don't know. I really don't know.
Man, Lewis and Max got these guys thinking, dude.
I know. Seriously, yeah. Well, yeah, and so definitely the cars look a little bit different this year. Not totally different, but there's definitely changes with like the rear wing, the total body shape of the car is a little different.
The head shield looks a little different too.
Yeah.
So in case like a tire comes up or whatever.
Right. Yeah, no, it's
Slightly
definitely
more
different.
aerodynamic.
100%, because that did happen last year. Lewis and Max were coming around a turn. Max took the inside, and there's these things called they call them sausage curbs, and they literally look like a half of a sausage coming out. And if you hit that, your car could do a multitude of different things. Max hit the sausage curb, and his back end of his car ended up on top of Lewis. Very scary moment, because if he didn't have that halo ring that we're talking about, probably would have died.
Wouldn't have had.
Probably would have died. So
Now
yeah.
But you might hear that and think, man, Max, what are you doing? Blah, blah. Watch it for yourself, and we'll give you
That's
a little
another
bit better of
thing.
an idea of what happened.
Right. There's a lot of different rules in Formula One, a lot of different etiquette courtesies that drivers follow that some other drivers don't follow, that maybe I don't really fully understand, which leads to me not agreeing with some of the things. But yeah, there is definitely a lot of controversial moments last year.
Some guys just don't touch gloves before the fight, you know?
You need people like that in the sport. You need people like that.
Makes it fun.
It makes it fun. But so getting back to the cars.
Yeah,
so
which one do you want to start with?
I was going to say, yeah.
These are also, there's only going to be 4 cars right now that we are going to show you, because there's only 4 that have been released as of February 12th. So we are going to start off, I'll hit you with the 4 teams that have released their cars. So we have Aston Martin's reveal, Red Bulls, Haas, and McLaren. Jared, I don't know if you want to start off. Let's hit me with your least favorite first.
Yeah, I can definitely give you my least favorite would be Haas. I have problems with this for a couple reasons. They waited to announce their launch date. That's what they're calling these things, launch date, when they reveal their livery is another term, but it's really just the design of the car. That's what livery means.
And this will be popped up on the screen for you guys right now, so you can follow along with exactly what we're
right here. But yeah, so we got a picture of the Haas car. This is absolutely by far my least favorite car. They waited to announce their launch date until basically everybody else did to ensure that they would be first. This led people like me to think that they would be doing something totally left field. They're also one of the worst teams in Formula One, so a design change maybe just could shake things up for the future. But no, they went with relatively the same exact design as they did before, and they are the only American-based team, and it looks like the Russian flag. It really does. I'm not a fan at all. They could have done something way cooler. They could have put the American flag on the car, quite literally.
And it would
look awesome. It would have looked awesome.
And
I don't know, what do you think?
Also, we're going to put up 2021's model right here, so
Yep.
you can kind of compare side by side. I prefer the 2021 model, but if the new one races better and we can see some better performance out of an American team, I might eat my words. But
100%.
as of right now, I just look at that and I don't even want to.
It's bland. It's
like
boring. They don't have.
And you'll see what we're saying when we see some
was
newer
gonna say-
cars that look awesome.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a couple teams this year who have released their cars already that look miles better than this or miles better than the last
background looks cooler than that car.
100%. 100%. We'll throw up the exact picture we're looking at. It's not great at all. Not great at all. But like you said, if they can actually perform better in some races, we will eat our words. I would love for Haas to become an actual contender. They're the only American team, and I would love to see them do well. But right now, they're not doing well at all.
No.
At all. Okay, so next team, we can go on to Red Bull.
Okay.
Red Bull released their car 3 or 4 days ago. So,
although we are both Red Bull fans,
yes.
and that is definitely my team of choice, the team that I like to follow, I personally was like looking for a little bit more out of Red Bull for this car.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just don't. You're looking at what I'm looking at. It's typical. It's what I expected. I mean,
Right.
like it's exactly what I thought it was going to look like.
100%. And there's always going to be critics or whatever. So they changed they got a new title sponsor, which basically means they are now Oracle Red Bull Racing. Oracle is their main sponsor for the team. So now they got Oracle fat on the side of the car instead of the Red Bull tag like they had last year. That's something I don't quite enjoy, but it's going to look good. They're going to be a good team.
It's going to
Like
be
I
fast.
said, they're both of our teams. That's who we root for.
It's got a big number 1 on the front for Max.
It's got a big number 1 for sure. One thing I did want to touch on about being a Red Bull fan is I feel like Haas is the American team because Haas is an American company, but I feel like Red Bull really is kind of the American team because Red Bull is a huge company in America, not just energy drinks, but they have skate teams, snowboard teams, like.
That's something to
surf
think
teams,
about
you know
too.
what I mean?
Like, how much money does Red Bull make?
A lot.
Like this, like if we were just talking about Red Bull being an F1 team, not even an energy drink, they're easily $100 million company or like $50 million company.
Yeah, easily.
And not to mention the fact they're worldwide, arguably the largest energy drink company there is, other than Monster.
Right. I mean, that's Apple to Android, though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and I mean, like Jared said, skateboarding teams, snowboarding teams. They launched a guy into space so he could jump.
Right.
The coolest thing I saw them do first was they had a guy on a dirt bike going like, I think it was England or France or something, and jump this like 30, 40 story like tower. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like what?
It's crazy.
They kickflipped the car.
Right.
Like,
they do a lot of very extreme sports. They sponsor a lot of extreme sports, and they also make like their F1 team, like they do a lot of fun videos. Like you saw the one where they drove on the ice, right?
Yeah.
They had like some dude, I guess there's a sport where they race like bikes, like motorbikes on ice, and their tires have these like ice picks on them. So they had one of their drivers doing that, and they put Max Verstappen in an old F1 car, and they were driving together on this crazy ice track. Like, you don't see other Formula One teams doing that. So I think that's a big pull for Red Bull when it comes to American fans. We're already very used to the brand Red Bull. We know what they're about. So I think it's an easy choice for a lot of American fans to just be a Red Bull fan because of what I just said.
Yeah,
and
they're the
it
first
helps
to
that they just
Americanize
won.
it.
Right. They just won. Max Verstappen is a nothing short of interesting character. And they have his teammate Sergio Perez is probably one of the best defensive drivers. Okay, back to the car though. Back to the car.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that clear.
Those are all valid stuff.
Yeah, 100% why I think Red Bull, it could be seen as like a bandwagon-y thing, But that's the first thing I thought when I saw that Red Bull had a team. Is I was like, oh, Red Bull. Like I know Red Bull. I like their snowboarding team. Like things like that. I've seen them before. That's why initially we were attracted to Red Bull. I feel like
For sure. I think actually let's rate these cars 1 to 10 each. We'll go back to the Haas car real quick.
Yep.
I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. 1.5.
1.5. Okay.
1.5.
So I'm generous.
Yes.
Next, we're gonna hit you with a quick score for the Red Bull car. Now, biased obviously because I know the car is gonna perform. I know it doesn't even look bad. It's just like I said, it looks how I thought it was gonna look. It's no 10. It's no 9. It's no 8. It's a 6.5 to a 7 for me.
I was gonna give it a 7. I've always liked they have the Red Bull. Again, we'll have the picture up. They have the Red Bull on the top crown of the car. You can see it right there.
Which is awesome.
It's fucking sweet. You know what I mean? But they've had that. It's been a thing.
Thank God they didn't get rid of that.
Right. It's exactly what we kind of expected from Red Bull, or what I expected from Red Bull anyway. Yeah. So moving on.
Want to hit the Aston Martin next?
Yeah, we got Aston Martin.
Dude. This car is by
They
far
win.
the coolest F1 car I've seen.
They win.
Period. This is like
100%.
This is just the color scheme.
Yeah.
The accents. Can you get that one up there
Yep.
for him?
100%. Actually, that is not it. That might be. That's not it. Actually, these are
That's
like
like an F2 car.
yeah. They have these crazy ribs on the side, kind of going down the side of the car. We'll have the picture up there. Oh yeah, it's right here, right here.
There we go.
Yeah, you can see these, dude. So the first thing I see is the yellow lines going down the side. I think that's gonna look amazing, like when they're just driving down the track, right? They also cut out a lot of the white in the car. Like it was really just that like forest green and white before. Now they have a lot, like the Aston Martin logo is in yellow in a couple places, and then those ribs that go down the side, those.
Which I'm sure serve a purpose too, and I wonder, and it
Right.
almost makes you wonder: are we going to see some other teams come out with something like that next year if that performs?
Yeah,
Like,
I
if that
wonder
is-
if that's like an actual maybe like air intake or something,
I
or
was
is
gonna say,
that just like a
does
fake
it help
thing?
cool the car, or is it
Or is
just?
that
It
just
could
a
even just be
design
weight
thing?
reduction. Like think about like
100%.
when you're doing something like this, like taking away like even if it's 1 pound of material, it's you're helping. Like
Yeah,
could be weight reduction. For all we-
100%.
Those also might not even be cutouts until we see it.
I was gonna say it could
on
literally
TV.
just be the paint job.
Yeah, but
literally
regardless,
just be the paint
car
job.
just looks phenomenal. I mean,
I think that is.
everything about it is.
I really don't see anybody topping that unless someone goes totally left field and nails it.
AlphaTauri has a chance.
AlphaTauri has a chance. I think they'll probably be kind of similar to what they were again. I've always liked their car though.
Yeah.
Liked the color scheme of their car. Something that I did hear last night that I just remembered. Do you remember the team Force India?
Oh yeah.
So they were pink, right? And they have the sponsor BWT. I don't know the company, but so that they're now going to be sponsoring Alpine.
Oh, okay.
And it was just released that Alpine is going to have pink in their car now. So it's going to be that Alpine blue along with if you guys remember the Force India, the BWT pink. So that's going to be cool. That has a
got
chance.
potential.
But I don't think the color scheme, the green
also
that they
my
already
favorite
have to
colors.
work with, I was going to say that's Joe's favorite color. It's an amazing color.
All right, so the McLaren car.
McLaren
I
released yesterday.
gives me Red Bull vibes in the sense of it's what I expected. They did change a few things though.
100%. They changed their color scheme a little bit. They got that lighter blue now. It's just like I feel like it's just a couple tones lighter than the blue they used before. Definitely works a little better
Like
with
a royal
the
blue
orange.
to a sky blue.
A fresh look. It's a fresh look on the new color or on the color scheme for the McLaren. There's a little more, I feel like, black, a little more darker tones worked in with that too on the
Velo's
bottom.
on there a couple more times too. The front wing's
Yeah.
covered in Velo.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure it's like a nicotine pouch, isn't it?
I don't.
I'm like
that
90% sure that that's
is,
their sponsor.
But I don't.
Which is very odd.
Hold on. Okay, Velo nicotine pouches.
That's
but
what I'm saying. Because I liked like when Oracle sponsors Red Bull. I'm like, oh, who's Oracle? And then you look up Velo, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, hold on.
That's it.
It's not. It's a different company. Wait,
Okay.
no.
No, I was gonna say, dude, it's the same logo.
What?
Dude, it makes no sense.
McLaren Racing in Velo, a leading nicotine pouch brand, today launched Velo E-Series as a part of what?
There's a McLaren e-cig, guys.
What?
No, I'm kidding. But
Guys, what are you doing?
that's
Okay.
that's where I was like, I thought I was crazy. But then it's like I look it
didn't-
up and I see that and I'm like, maybe it's a different
'Cause
Company, European, smaller.
That,
but then
that's
the logo's
I just
the same.
I didn't even think to
Process,
make the
yeah.
correlation. What the fuck, dude?
I was like, what the hell is that?
That's mind-blowing to me. Okay. All right. So
we're gonna be looking at the McLaren driver is gonna be
yeah. No. So okay.
It just makes the race go by a little quicker.
Yeah, just to pass the time, I guess. It's interesting. I don't really know what to make of that since it's like their fucking sponsor. Like it's
money
like
are they making
1,
to sponsor
2,
McLaren?
3, 4, 5
That we can see on
that
the
we can
side.
see on one angle of the car. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Isn't that funny?
It wasn't advertised either.
No.
Like when Red Bull announced their title partner with Oracle, like Oracle has been a big part of Red Bull's whole thing for a while, and they really pushed it hard. We didn't hear anything about this from McLaren. We just figured it out. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Like a few nights ago, I was looking at the car, and I'm like, Velo. What's Velo? And I looked. I don't even know what I thought it was gonna be.
I feel like I gotta look it up again because like
it just can't.
It just can't be. It just can't be. What is it? New celebrity?
But it is
a nicotine pouch owned by British American Tobacco. What the fuck, man? Well, all right. So I don't know if that's gonna go into my consideration when grading the car or not. Probably not.
I can't lie. It plays a mild factor in mine. Because I have to look at it. You have to see the name.
Because it's just
it's
a
very
left
weird
field sponsor, man.
I'm gonna give the car honestly. Well, outside of Velo, if we're just talking the color scheme, the change up and everything, it wasn't enough to really get a high score out of me, regardless. And then with the sponsor and everything, I'll give it a 5.56.
A 5.56.
5.56.
I'll give it without the sponsor.
Solid 6.
I was gonna say solid 7.
Okay.
With the sponsor, 6.5.
Okay. So
6.5.
We're about on the same page.
It's just I don't know. Like
it just doesn't do it for me.
When you look at the other sponsors, Richard Mille, Ray-Ban, I don't know, like anything else, anything else. I don't know. Is that really what McLaren wants to be pushing as a brand?
I wonder, do you think McLaren merchandise has Velo sponsorship on it?
Oh, they were wearing it at the car launch yesterday.
Because then it's like, I don't know. It's just a little odd.
I don't know because like then people are going to be buying.
You're sporting it.
Like you're like our friend Drew has a McLaren hoodie, right? That he bought last year. But if you bought it this year, it might say Velo on it, which is a nicotine brand.
Yeah, just a little odd.
It's odd to me. Yeah, I want to look up their team kit because if Velo's really on there, then that's actually funny.
While he's looking that up as well, we will hit real quick on McLaren did release a miniature model, a Lego model of the car this year. And you can pretty much fully assume that as soon as that's fully readily available for us to purchase, we will be purchasing it and probably doing a cool time lapse of us assembling it.
100%.
You'll probably see it mounted on the wall on a shelf somewhere
maybe
over
here.
Maybe right there. Maybe up here. Maybe we'll move that
wherever
up.
Wherever works. But that thing is sick.
Yeah.
I'm
excited
not a
to see
Lego
if some
guy,
other companies come out with a cool ass model.
It's really cool, and it's so funny. I was just in Florida. We went to a store. We went to the Lego store down there, and they had Formula.
Here's a picture of the model as well.
They had Formula E cars, but not Formula One. I was like, it made no sense to me. I thought maybe it was some like licensing thing where they got the rights to produce a Formula E Lego. Maybe this F1 Lego is a new thing. It's super interesting though.
Could even be a deal strictly through McLaren. We might not see any others.
Yeah.
But there has been a Ferrari.
I was going to say, I thought I saw a Ferrari on Twitter.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't look nearly as good either. Like this is like a big.
I was going to say, I'm going to throw up another picture. There's a picture of Lando Norris, a McLaren driver, holding it. I swear to God, it's like this big.
Yeah,
like he was size. Like that's cool, man. That's really cool. I'm really, really, really excited for that.
Definitely be purchasing that. Probably gonna be like $200, but it'll be sweet.
I was gonna say it's definitely gonna be like $200.
When I was a kid, that shit was so cheap. Like it was like I could easily get a Lego when I was at Target with my mom or something. Just throw it in the cart.
100%. 100%. No, I can't wait for those Legos though. That's gonna be really, really fucking sick.
But all right, so back to the cars though and the releases. I mean, cars. Is there anything you're excited to see that hasn't been released yet? I know I'm excited to see Ferrari. We had talked about
yes,
with their kit as well. They usually it's just like a red polo, red hoodies, red everything.
I was gonna say Ferrari
red.
Right, it's been red. That's it.
But this year there's this odd black gray gunmetal color bar right here
on their team kits.
We'll pull it up. And also for the record, wait, can you go back real quick?
Oh, I did look up the McLaren ones. I don't see the Velo sponsor on their team kits. So they are cool though. Like Lando Norris's has so I guess it would have the driver's respective like home country flag on there. So like Daniel Ricciardo's has the Australian flag. It's really cool. Maybe throw another picture up of that. It looks like it's got their signature below it.
Daniel Ricciardo also Buffalo Bills fan. Bills Mafia. Let's go.
He is an awesome person.
So cool.
He's an amazing person. I think first of all, his outlook on life, you can just tell is awesome. Like he's just a happy guy. He's gonna bring, laughter to any sort of situation. You can look up Daniel Ricciardo. You'll find plenty of hilarious videos of him like dancing to national anthems before the race. Like just funny stuff. He's a great guy. Bills fan. Very beloved.
I want to see him break a table.
I would love to see him jump through a table. Maybe do a shoey, then jump through a table.
Or maybe just a good handshake picture of him and Josh Allen,
Yes. I think they have met. I don't know if in person. They have done, like, I saw.
Oh,
I think it was before.
Bills were doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It was before maybe, like, a big Bills game or something. They had Daniel and Josh get on, like, a little Zoom call or something. It was funny, and we got a big kick out of that. But, yeah, so doesn't look like a Velo sponsor on the team kit. So I guess that's
a good thing.
Good, yeah. But getting back to the Ferrari team kit.
Yes.
That's super interesting, like you were saying, because they have this gunmetal space gray stripe, right?
You'll see right here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll throw that up. It could lead for us to think that maybe their car might look a little different.
I'm thinking it's gonna.
Yeah.
Especially if they haven't released it yet. We've seen the new kits and they look different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it going to be drastically different? No, it's not going to be yellow. It's not going to be orange. It's going to be red. But I just think we're going to see a little bit more of that gunmetal or black color, maybe accented.
I think that'd be really cool.
Switch up. Fresh.
I also think a lot of people might not be happy about it. I think it'd be cool just to see something besides the plain red. Not plain red. There's a bunch of sponsors and everything, but historically, it's been a pretty boring car. Ferrari's not a boring company. No, it's nice to look at a Ferrari red car, but
they got good drivers too. Yeah. Charles Leclerc should have a great season this year.
I know a lot of people are calling Ferrari like the sleeping giant this year. Mm-hmm. They have two really solid drivers in Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, so that'll be really interesting. As far as their car goes, I hope to see a little bit different. Obviously, I would still want to see the red, right? Like that's like their thing. Yeah. Enzo Ferrari said, have a child paint a sports car, they're going to paint it red, or draw a sports car, they're going to color it red. That's their thing, right? But I would love to see that. Maybe just like one little stripe of gunmetal gray on the car or something.
Even if the wing just had a little bit more accent, low level of the car.
100%. They definitely can play a little bit with that and make it something really cool. Will there be pushback from like diehard Ferrari fans? Probably. So that's definitely something.
I guarantee those guys are still going to be rooting for him, watching the races
100%,
too.
100%. Yeah, so I'm sure maybe that's something they're taking into consideration too.
But with the Ferrari team too, I mean, Charles Leclerc is probably one of my favorite drivers next to Daniel Ricciardo, who is not on Red Bull Racing.
So. Yeah, for sure. That's
cool.
It's hard not to like Max.
Hard not to like Max.
I mean, maybe for some people it's really easy not to like him if you're like.
Remember last year when he won the trophy and he goes, "Oh, this is my first trophy."
Yeah, no. I think it was
a medal.
It was a medal because they were giving out medals. He's like, "This is my first medal," and he was like totally trolling. Like I feel like
how much shit he had to win to get there.
I know, so much shit.
He's probably got a 20 by 20 room filled with trophies
and medals.
That he probably doesn't even look at.
Right? Yeah, no, probably pointless to him. As far as the cars go, though, I don't think I have much else. Like we said, only 4 cars have been released so far. It's been pretty cool. Like, it's cool to watch the different car launches and, like, just see, like, they'll, like, usually interview the drivers a little bit before, have them talk about, like, the next season. Those are cool things to watch, too, if you have the opportunity to watch those. But, yeah, as far as the 2022 cars go, that's about all I have.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably pretty much hit on everything we could.
Yeah. Got some other cool F1 stuff we can run through.
Yeah, what you got?
So I want to talk about someone named Sem Boulabassi. I butchered it, right? Okay, so this Sem kid, right? He was a Formula E driver. Not Formula E. He was a esports driver, right? So basically that means he was, signed to a team, but he would sit and play the F1 game in an actual racing chair. It's their standard for esports, basically. Yeah. That's
and
what
it is
do.
The training aid that's used by all the professionals as well. Like, right, I mean, you'll see you go up right now and type in Pierre Gasly training F1 simulator, and watch him do that and spin out a couple of times and crash.
100%, yeah. And it's fun too because a lot of the F1 drivers like will play the video game. But like I said, this is like the professional esports for F1. So this Sem kid, he's from Turkey, and he's going to be racing in Formula 2 this season. So getting back to Sem, so in 2019, he made the switch back to regular driving, starting to drive regular cars in different smaller circuits, like the F3 Asian Championship, for example. And then once at the end of 2021, he started testing the F2 cars, and then he announced that he was going to be making the actual switch and compete and be a contender in the 2022 Formula 2 Championship. Another notable thing is that he is not only the first esports driver to make the transition into F2, but he is also the first Turkish driver.
I was wondering that. I was going to say, I don't know any other drivers from Turkey.
Yeah, I know. That's something super cool about F1 in general is there's drivers from all over the country.
I guarantee you
all over the country.
The reason that there probably isn't many other Turkish drivers, I don't think the sport's probably too large in Turkey.
Yeah,
and
100%.
It's cool that he had been given the opportunity to get this position by video games.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, if he wasn't able to sit there and probably do it in his house and put forth the time and effort and put the work in, then it's
absolutely
wouldn't happen. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I know like to get into the sport of racing in general is like not cheap when you're younger. You know what I mean? So that is another thing that like not a lot of people get the opportunity to really even hone the skill of driving these cars.
You gotta
know
supply
what I mean?
your own cart when you're growing up, too,
Yeah,
and do the
and
work
build
yourself.
it.
And that's why a lot of these guys have a very, very good idea of what's going on with the cars they're driving because they built the cars they drove growing up for
100%.
years
They
and
know
years and years with their dad.
everything
or their mom
about
or
it, right?
whoever it was.
And exactly, that's why like a lot of these guys who are in Formula 1 now, their dads were also either racing drivers or Formula 1 racing drivers. So they, were probably helping build the cars and everything like that when they were kids. So yeah, it's amazing that this kid is getting the opportunity to drive, be an actual contender in Formula 2 next year. Definitely going to be following him to see how he does.
It's going to be interesting to try and find some F2 races this year.
100%. They're on ESPN Plus, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on ESPN Plus, so we'll be able to do that.
Shout out the streaming services now.
I was going to say, shout out like ESPN Plus for having all these different sports like F1. Like, it's just makes it very easy to watch sports that you honestly could never get on like regular television where we live in America. Like maybe ESPN like 7 it'll be on, but other than that, we're not going to be seeing much of Formula 2. But yeah, no, ESPN Plus is definitely the place to get all Formula 1 and Formula 2 content. As far as that goes, yeah, Sem is going to be something to follow, something to really keep a close watch on.
Close watch.
I'm
just pulling up the 2022 race calendar for you guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. But Sem is clearly a stud, and like I said, cannot wait to see what he does in Formula 2 and beyond. It would be amazing to see him eventually work his way up to Formula 1.
For sure, and I'm sure that's going to happen too if you look at not only what he's done already, but the time frame in which he did it. I'm pretty sure this has all happened in less than 5 years.
Sounds like it, yeah.
And if you were to think, Max Verstappen, for example, or Pierre Gasly, any top-level, Lando Norris, these guys have been racing since they were 5 years old in karts. Don't get me wrong, he had done some karting prior, but I'm sure that there was a decent hiatus between karting and doing the esports. 100%. I'm sure esports is what got him back into it.
You know what? Something I forgot. Where he started was motocross, actually.
Oh, you're right, yes.
I totally forgot about that.
So 2 wheels, not even 4.
Right. At the age of 5.
Yeah, nuts.
Motherfucker was 5 years old.
So he had racing experience.
Motocross, and then the next year, so he was 6 years old, won the Turkish championship, motocross championship. So that's kind of how he got his start. I thought it was karting, but it was actually motocross. Totally forgot about that. I'm sure he eventually moved into karting and things like that. I don't know how like the correlation works, but I'm sure you're building the same skills. You know what I mean? Motocross, karting. There's a bunch of different shit like that.
Same concepts too, with overtaking and
100%.
Where to accelerate, when to decelerate.
Super interesting. And like I said, can't wait to follow him in the future.
For sure. So right here, I do have the 2022 race calendar, and I'm going to send this to Jared so he can pop it up on the screen for you guys when we go to edit this. Just to give you an idea, we're going to be looking to start the season this year in May, early May. The first race is actually a U.S.-based race in Miami.
It's actually not.
Is that not the first one?
The first one's in Bahrain, I know for sure.
What is this then?
What? Yeah. Huh? This must be like...
Is this a series?
Yeah, it is. That's weird. That's like very like misleading.
W Series 2022 calendar. W Series will support 8 F1 Grand Prix weekends this year, starting in Miami and wrapping up in Mexico. So this is for the W Series.
Gotcha. So it must be. It looks like just like a little.
So we're gonna edit that out.
It looks like just a little like group of races in the middle of the year that they're calling this W Series.
Yeah, which is gonna be from May to October and range from U.S., Spain, U.K., France, Hungary, Japan, U.S. again, and then ends in Mexico City, Mexico.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty cool. I didn't know they were doing that.
Well, then we'll touch more on the W Series another day.
100%.
That's not the race calendar.
Yes.
So we are going
I
to
do have the race calendar up
here.
So March 20th, we're kicking it off at Bahrain. And then I just saw too that Bahrain is they just signed the Bahrain circuit to be a Formula One circuit for the next like 12 years or something like that. It's crazy. Maybe 10. I don't know. I don't know the exact number. But so Bahrain's going to be around for a while. And then the following week we have Saudi Arabia. It's interesting because that was the second last Jeddah. Yeah, second last race of this year's season. Now it's the second race of next season. Moving on, we got Australia. And then I've Emilia Romagna. That's an Italian circuit. I'm not sure if that is it's not. It might be.
Okay, so that's the race before the W Series starts.
Yes, that is the race before the W Series starts. I think that's like Ferrari's track. It's the
home court.
Yeah. And then I think because there's another one down here that says Italy. I believe that's at Imola.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just another track in Italy. But Imola is also like a very historical track in F1.
March what for Bahrain?
20th.
All right, cool. So that will be after that. We will do a recap of the Bahrain Grand Prix after we come back from Outer Banks, and you guys will be seeing some golf, fishing, and just whatever fucking content we can get for you
That's
guys
gonna
out
be
there,
awesome.
which is going to be a lot.
Those videos and the Outer Banks are going to be amazing.
Should be going turkey hunting the weekend before that, too, so there's going to be a lot of variety for you guys.
I was going to say,
probably going to bring the GoPro turkey hunting.
Oh, easily. If you watch the intro video, that's just a prime example of the different content that we're going to be providing.
Plenty of it.
But yeah, so getting back to the schedule. Saudi Arabia is the second. We're leading it off with Bahrain. Like you said, you can probably expect us to do a race recap of like every race.
Yeah,
like
for 100%.
Honestly. Like either like right
Circuits
after it happens
sprints.
or like the next day, and then we'll get it posted. It'll be sweet. So we got Saudi Arabia on March 27th, Australia, that Emilia Romagna, and then moving in, brand new race, May 8th, Miami, the Miami Grand Prix. It's going to be a street circuit.
Miami GP.
Yes, I've heard that this is the race that all the drivers are excited to go to. Probably because it's Miami.
I was gonna say
it's
gonna be. It's in Miami.
I was gonna say it's it really just kind of from what I've heard, from what I've read about it, it gives me Monaco vibes. It's gonna be a street circuit. It's gonna
possibly
be
smaller.
Maybe I'm not sure. They
For
might have
reference
even released that
too,
information.
Monaco is 100 kilometers. Wait a second, actually 160 kilometers. While oh my God, Jesus,
161 miles.
161 miles.
Yeah.
While most average other races are 190 miles, so it is significantly shorter.
Right. Maybe it'll be longer then, because maybe they don't. I don't know. But they're just designing it, or it's a brand new track that's going to be added to the Formula One circuit this year. Super excited about that. From Miami, we go to Spain on May 22nd, and then we go to Monaco May 29th. Monaco is like the race. Like it's the biggest race on the calendar. It's if you ever seen a picture of Monaco, it's just like the craziest.
Here's
place
one
in the
right
world.
here in case you haven't. Nuts.
A lot of Formula One drivers choose to live in Monaco. So that I feel like that says something. If you live anywhere in the world, a lot of these guys are trying to live in Monaco. Monaco is definitely the craziest race. Street circuit, probably the hardest track on the circuit. Always produces fireworks, definitely. Azerbaijan is the next in June 12th. Then we go to Canada, followed by Great Britain, Austria. On July 24th, we go to France. July 31st is Hungary. And then we go on our little summer break. So we race in Hungary July 31st, and then we don't race again until August 28th in Belgium. This is something that they do every year, just kind of a little break for the drivers, for the whole teams, because it is such a long season. Right now, it feels like we haven't watched, or like I've been just like itching to watch a Formula One race, but like It's really only, yeah, but like the off season's only 3 months, and then they race for 9 months throughout the year. So this break definitely needed for all the drivers. A lot of the races are like back-to-back weeks too, so like sometimes they don't even get like the full week off in between drives. So yeah, absolutely. So we pick back up in Belgium August 28th. Then we go to the Netherlands September 4th. Back in Italy September 11th. Russia is in September 25th. Then we go to Singapore October 2nd. Japan, and then they're coming back to the United States October 23rd.
Austin, Texas?
Yep. That'll be the Austin, Texas race. That is not a new race on the circuit. That's been there for a while. It's that Circuit of the Americas. That is always a big race on the calendar. A lot of celebrities from the States usually go to those races. I think Josh Allen was at that one. The Rock was at that one last year. It's going to be a good race. And then October 30th, we go to Mexico. November 13th, we're in Brazil at Interlagos. That's like also a historically very significant track. That track is awesome. Lewis Hamilton had probably one of the best performances in a race car ever there last year. It was absolutely amazing. And then we finish November 20th in Abu Dhabi.
Sweet.
Yep. Can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. It's going to be, I don't know, I just want the season to start. Just can't wait. Can't wait.
The Abu Dhabi GP.
Yep. Fucking, yeah. But I think that's all I got for Formula 1, man.
I think that's pretty much a wrap, guys. If
think,
you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments.
Yep.
Shoot us over some DMs. We'll list all of our social medias you can contact us at in the comments.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And you can expect a new episode soon. All right.
Sure. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.